Thank you, Fran. I bought a car in England and took it right over to the continent and drove 10,000 miles looking at as much art as I possibly could. Well, personally, as a woman, I did not get to share my adult life with my mother. Of course, she never knew my son. But on the other hand, losing her then really helped me commit to imagery of women. And in a lot of senses, I feel that I speak for women who cannot speak for themselves for whatever reason. And I know that that started with losing my mother. I wanted to start a new life. I wanted to get away from New York. I wanted a different place to live, a place I was unfamiliar with. I wanted, if I possibly could, to leave some of that sadness behind and provide my son with a bit of a fresh start, if that's possible. Yeah, we lived at the mouth of the river in this wonderful little Bergman house. I was trying to create a painting that was uncompromising in terms of my commitments as an artist and a woman. And also, I want to pay homage to groups that have been left out and under-celebrated in his image, and that's African Americans and women. And so I used just a beautiful model, a woman, a friend of mine, Maria, who was working for me for quite a while. And I felt that she was just the perfect inspiration for this painting. So I used her as my inspiration. Yes, I have a nephew, Elliot, in Los Angeles, and he's 17 years old now. And I felt, you know, this was not about a contest to me. This was about creating a work of art, and that really, Michael Farrell, the editor at the time of NCR, really said, maybe we should be thinking about Christ as the millennium approaches, rather than more worldly things. How would he be perceived today? And I thought, if nothing else, I'm going to create a painting that my nephew will see himself in, and probably I'll just send him a print of it down the line, and I'd be completely satisfied. Well, first of all, it was a total surprise and a shock. Secondly, it saddened me initially because the negative responses came first, and they were very mean, to say the least, and it really disappointed me because I thought we had evolved a whole lot more past that level of prejudice and hate. But then the positive support began pouring in and really has overwhelmed the negative. And you know, this painting is about grace and love, and you know, I trust that the message of the painting will speak, and you know, I stand behind the painting. And my goal in creating this image was to paint the soul. The painting is about the surface because as a visual artist I have to work with those limitations. But the essence of the painting is how you feel when you look at it. It's about what goes on within. It's about feeling. And I'm surprised some people get stuck on the surface. To watch the people that have come to the various exhibitions where the painting has been, they come before it and cry, and it affects them so profoundly. And you know, I'm overwhelmed by emotion watching them look at the painting, and it's very humbling, you know, and people, you know, thank me, and I say, well, you know, I'm not sure I'm the one to thank. I feel the painting came through me, and it's had such a powerful effect. I feel I'm only the vehicle. I don't know what its path is supposed to be, and I think I'm the guardian of it, at least for now. And I told her this too, and it was very hard to indirectly say, I just don't know right now. I have to let this painting do the work it's here to do, to travel, to allow people to see it, who want to see it. And I will know at the right time what is the right place for it, where it should go. But for now, it needs to, I'm following it. Well, no, not the approach. Jesus said that people followed the approach of my work. It was more of a reverse than reversal than that. But, you know, I've gotten a variety of different requests and offers, which has allowed me to create more spiritual work as a result of it. So, in some ways, yes, it's altered my work somewhat. But I'm already on this path, so no, I have this great big plaque from one of the sites outside of St. Louis, and it's in my studio, and he kind of oversees me now, you know, and I turn around every once in a while and, you know, what should I do? And his expression changes. It's just amazing. I really had a transformational experience. I was very unhappy when I went. I felt I had reached an impasse in my work, and I wanted to I was longing for something that was not in concrete form, and I went and I guess in some senses confronted it and realized what I was longing for was a more spiritual expression. And I wanted so much to use, the image of the Madonna and Child, and I didn't feel I had a right to. I felt that I was not Catholic, and I felt it was bad form to do that. So I began at that point, but it was really when I met Father Richard Fowler, who is the priest now down in St. Anne's in Middletown Springs here in Vermont, who put his arm around me and said, you have a calling and you have to follow it. God wants you to do this. And he set me free, and all these doors opened, and, you know, here I am. I feel the image of the Madonna and Child is so symbolic of the ongoing nature of life and the selfless role women play, and beyond all reason, logical reason, the love between a mother and a child, it's beyond reason. It's something I know innately because I have my son Simeon, and I couldn't do this work with mothers and children if I hadn't become a mother. Partly inspired by the specific model for this, my model Maria, who is such a pure soul. She just loves life so much. I just absolutely connect with that aspect of her. And after going through this experience and opening my work up to people other than myself, I realized that the more you share and give and open to the forum for other people, really the more comes back to you. It's such a universal sense of giving. And from an artistic point of view, I just find African American women spectacular to paint. Well, actually, between Island Pond and Burlington, I moved up to the Champlain Islands. So there were a couple of years up there with him. And he actually went to school in New York State because we were so far up. But in terms of Island Pond, he was going to school at Linden State, and we went to an auction and found this house and bought the house by doing that. I mean, I have felt absolutely delivered. It is the most magnificent, pristine area, and I just invite other artists and writers to discover it as well. It reflects the inner journey I certainly am on, and I know that it reflects a journey many other people are on, that it is not about this physical life completely. It is about the spiritual life that is beyond what we see. Well, my process really is to get out of my own way, my own conscious way, and allow my inner voice to come through. And when I start a work, I don't have an image in front of me. It emerges, and it shows me the way. I follow it. I want to achieve a timelessness in my work, and I don't like to attach to time. I like my women to be wrapped, and to me it conveys a sort of a primordial, eternal kind of Non-connection to time. Well, my grandmother, my mother's mother, was a twin. And this dynamic has absolutely fascinated me all of my life. She was so connected to her sister, they were so alike, and they were so different. And so I often work with that theme of, you know, in some respects, the open eyes. What enters through one, it winds up in the other, and there's this reciprocity back and forth. Well, I'm not sure it's a tool in a sense. It does define my life when I'm able to work and when I'm not able to work. I do use my work in support of migraine awareness in a number of ways. One with an organization in Washington called Magnum, and another I will be exhibiting a work with Pfizer in Europe in support of a new drug that's coming to this country. I feel if I can possibly contribute awareness to helping resolve this, I want to. And of course it primarily affects women, although not exclusively. It doesn't physically help me, it might other people, but not in that sense. I've always worked a little differently than most realists. My work has a very strong, linear, almost a geometric approach. I am after strength. I view my figures as being connected to the earth but heaven-oriented. So there's usually this, when someone sits for me or stands for me, you know, there's this rising up and this drawing from and to. And it's, in a sense, this coming through the figure. And I don't think so much an influence as that it does resonate with it. You know, I see that myself. This is the journey of a magnificent young woman named Lee Ray, who moved to Vermont from Beijing. When she came, she couldn't speak a word of English. She received last year a 4-year scholarship to the University of Vermont. And it reflects her beautiful journey. In a broader sense, it reflects the beautiful journey of immigrants to this country. An attitude I was raised with, my grandmother coming from Sweden. And it also reflects, couldn't find a better title for this show, because all of the work in it, my commitment as an artist in general, is to the beautiful journey of our lives. And my work is committed to a positive celebration of our lives. Well, what I get from my work is not the painting after it's done, but it's the process of doing it. I am forever changed for having created each work of art. So in essence, it's really the artist that's the work of art. I am a spiritual person. I have no specific religion. For me, I find God in me. I don't have to look for God or go anywhere. For me, God is in the new flowers that come back every spring. It's in renewal. Right now I'm resolving the show in Stowe. I will be beginning a new series of paintings called African American Women Celebrated, and there's 4 components: motherhood, the iconic woman alone, the gift of the elderly, and children the future. And I am so incredibly blessed to have had this body of work underwritten by John and Marilyn Breo, my biggest collectors. So they have stood behind me through thick and thin. Well, I find a similarity in Northeast Kingdom and Northern New Mexico. I find a palpable sense of timeless spiritual quality to it. I find the land speaks to me, the open spaces, and it's taken me years not to miss taxi cabs. And now when I go back, I'm so changed. I have to have this. And so I think the spatial aspect shows up. And when I work, there's never a third dimension or a logical background. My own, I just have no affinity for yellow and a real green and a brown, just not there.